Hi, Becca here with my week 8 Watts Atelier online drawing training check-in. I have been drawing skulls for the last 2.5 weeks now, and the update is that I it's just not really working. I'm not learning the fundamental aspects of the skulls, the fundamental three-dimensional quality of it. And so I was trying to figure out why it wasn't working, because I've drawn these things a million times, and yet when I try and draw a variation of them, it just doesn't, I can't visualize it. And so I think that the approach that I'm taking right now is just not working. And so, well, I'm gonna kind of like back into this idea. So through the Watts training program, they have you learn, the first thing you learn is a modular skull, like a very simple modular skull. And then you learn memorize the simple Asaro head. And then you learn a Riley method head. And then you learn a complicated or the more sophisticated Asaro skull. And then you memorize all of the facial features one by one. And then you can draw a full portrait. So it doesn't really make sense that they would go through all this trouble to teach you those things if you could easily learn it just by repeating sort of complicated drawings or still lifes, I guess, copying reality. So it just doesn't really, to have the modular skull or to have the modular head followed by this really complicated skull drawing section followed by the classic Asaro head doesn't really make sense, because clearly there's something to be learned from understanding the planes of the head. So to try and understand a skull, which once you get a model of it, from the drawing you think it's kind of simple, it's not, it's really complicated. So once you start looking at these things and you like start looking at, I don't know if you can see this, but like the nuances of how like the bone curves into the eye socket and the angles of how, I don't even know what this is called, the mandible and I can't remember what this one's called. Anyway, how they fit together and merge into one another. It's not effective to just draw a really detailed thing over and over again. So I'm gonna keep finishing skulls this week, so I'll do one more week of skulls, and then I'm gonna move on, and I would not say that I have it memorized. I can draw profile, 3/4, and straight on pretty well, usually, but I definitely don't understand it. I don't have the skull memorized, and they suggest that you do that, but I just think it's gonna take too long. I don't think, maybe I'll go back to it after I understand the rest of the portrait lessons and the skull, the Riley head and the Asaro head and everything, but I think to memorize this super complicated shape by repeating it is just not working. So sorry to have like another complain fest, but I guess I just think that the Watts team kind of dropped the ball on this one. I don't think that this was the right approach to teaching the skull, or just where it comes in the process of learning it. It's just, I don't know, it just didn't really work for me. So it might work for you, and maybe I'm just being a big fat whiner. It's possible. Maybe I'm just bitter that it's taking me so long. But I don't know, it's just not really working for me. So I'm gonna do one more week and just try and practice a little bit more, and then I'm gonna move on to the simple Asaro head. And I guess that's all. On to the drawings.